Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to the internet's favorite show about plastic surgery, health, and beauty. This is Nip Talk. Today, we got some great segments. First off, Sophie Turner of Game of Thrones fandom has some plastic surgery rumors that we're going to unpack. And then, non-medical doctor naturopaths doing plastic surgery. Can this be real? And then finally, coming up for summer, Sarah's going to tell you how belly fat comes on and how you can get rid of it. And it's all coming up right now.
Live from Lincoln Center in the heart of the Dallas Metroplex, this is Nip Talk, an honest and uncensored show about plastic surgery, health, beauty, and lifestyle, with your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Hermann, and your co-host, entrepreneur and social media influencer Sarah Bennett. Now it's time to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of the topics everyone is talking about. It's time for Nip Talk.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us a lot. My name is plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Hermann, and with me, as always, is the amazing Sarah. Looking great. I love your outfit. The camo is really good.
Thank you.
In the box, we got Travis. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Let's see. You were gone last week.
Yeah, I was.
Are we on a vacation or work stuff?
No. So I went to speak at a school.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yes, it was middle school, Dade Middle School in South Dallas.
Nice.
They were like going from 8th grade to high school.
Okay.
And they made me like their speaker, I guess, for their like transition or whatever.
Wow. So were you talking about like broadcasting or just like giving them a pep talk? Or?
It was kind of both. It was kind of both. It was about like broadcasting and then also just kind of giving them a pep talk and letting them know what to expect moving forward.
Now, is that a school that you went to, or you just got hooked up with them or something?
No, so yeah, one of their teachers DM'd me.
Okay.
And she basically wanted me to come in and speak with them.
Oh, man.
I'm from kind of that part of
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's super cool, man.
Absolutely.
That's really neat to get to talk to kids about something you're passionate about.
It was dope. It was a cool experience. And 8th graders are wild to be around. I tell you that.
Yeah. I have a 7th grader, so yeah, I know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Any good weekend plans coming up, you guys?
I have a CrossFit competition.
CrossFit competition. Nice.
That's about it.
Yeah. Are you excited? Is this like a single or like a team thing?
Usually you have teams, but I always have I don't do it like by myself.
Oh, you don't? Yeah.
It's just for fun.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I remember when I used to do CrossFit, which is now a few years ago, that we would do competitions within our CrossFit group.
Yeah.
Which was always fun. I always sucked at like the weight stuff because I'm kind of, wiry. So like I'm good at like cardio stuff.
Yes.
So I would always suck at like the tire flipping, but when it came to the running, I would be like,
yeah.
Get 'em.
I'm the opposite.
Oh, yeah, we've talked about that. Like as a team, we might be pretty good. Like I could like do the running and you could do like the weightlifting.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of like a role reversal kind of thing, right?
Yeah. One of my teammates, like last year, she's just a bigger person. She's like has like 6 inches on me.
Oh,
And so she could outlift me, but I could do more of like the gymnastics part. So like I could do more like pull-ups and walk on my hands and do all that stuff that they do. So
you guys were a good team?
Yeah, I took over where she fell and she took over for
teamwork.
Me. Yeah.
I love that. So I'm doing a trip this weekend, heading to Central Texas Hill Country on the bike.
Yeah, I saw that. You posted about your new bike.
Oh, yeah, so I'm not taking the new bike, because, that
one's really not like a...
Yeah, it's not really a travel bike, and I didn't think it was going to come in, and so I told Danica, my daughter, that she could come with me on the trip, and then suddenly it came in, and I just felt bad. Like, I figure if my 13-year-old daughter wants to hang out with me, like, I'm not going to tell her no. So yeah, me and Danica, we're gonna take like the Pan America, that travel bike.
Nice.
Yeah, so go to like the hill country. It's like beautiful riding down there.
You should take her to these caves. It's called Longhorn Canyon Caverns.
Okay, I'll look it up.
It's really, really, really pretty.
Do you like walk through it?
There's a part where you could you can be standing to walk around in it, and then there's like a separate tour where you like get like a headlamp and
you're like
crawling and like
I think that'd be cool.
Going through crevices.
I've done some of that stuff before when I was really young. It's kind of neat.
That one is really cool. I recommend it. I think you and her would like it.
Right on. Travis, any big plans this weekend or?
So There's a artist showcase that I'm supposed to be like going to.
Nice.
At this like hookah lounge. I'm not really a hookah like girly, but
Yeah.
You're not a hookah girly?
yeah, no, I'm not really a hookah girly, but
But like that's where it's at. So yeah,
exactly.
I get you, man. That's
go
cool.
see the artist showcase, and then a friend of mine has their podcast is coming through.
Oh, okay.
So I might try to go see them.
Nice.
Stage. They have a relationship podcast that they do.
That's awesome,
cool.
man.
Absolutely.
Sounds like we're all gonna be busy.
Man.
We'll have some good stories next week, I guess.
I'll just be extremely tired.
All right, let's jump into some segments. All right, so any of you two fan of Game of Thrones?
I've never watched it.
You never watched Game of Thrones?
No.
I find that hard to believe. Travis, help me here.
No, I've not seen
Oh
it.
my God, both of you guys?
I've not seen it either.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, it's like 100 episodes, but you should check out
Yeah.
Game of. I mean, so my wife is not like a sci-fi fantasy kind of person, and she really liked it.
Yeah.
Like she totally got into it, and it really is a fantastic series.
I've heard a lot of good things about
Yeah.
it.
Well, the only thing to remember is like the first 7 seasons are like amazing, and the last season sucked. Like they
really?
totally crapped the bed on the
What
ending.
is it a fantasy or is it?
Yeah, it's fantasy. It's like
Okay.
it's kind of like a Lord of the Rings, but less magic-y, I guess. Like it's more like a drama, you know. Like the character development is amazing, and you see these people over a span of 8 years, and so the character like development is just like really unprecedented, I think, in television. It's almost like kind of Breaking Bad-ish, you know, how the characters
Yeah.
change, and it's like, you know, it's not just pure action. I mean, it's like a drama, but like it's really good. So
That's cool.
yeah, I mean, it's worth at least if you have any interest whatsoever. It is a great show. But all right, so what I guess I'm going to talk about you guys here. I thought you guys would be like, oh yeah, Sophie Turner. So Sophie Turner is a character on Game of Thrones, and she has had some plastic surgery controversy in the last couple years. And I didn't hear about this. I loved her character in the show. She has like a great character that just has this awesome character development. So she's absolutely one of my favorites. And when she started the show in season 1, she was only 14 years old.
Okay.
And then the show went basically 9 years. So she was 23 when it ended. And
Dang.
after the show ended, I kind of lost track of her. Like I didn't watch any other shows that she was in. So I hadn't really heard anything about her. And then she suddenly popped up in my social media feeds due to an interview she did with Vogue UK or Vogue Europe, and it was talking about plastic surgery rumors, and I was like, oh, Sophie Turner had some sort of plastic surgery controversy, you know? Because it has to be something pretty big, right? If they're talking about it. I mean, because people go out and get, you know, a boob job or something, and no one ever knows. But I mean, I was like, wow, something big must have happened. So then I started thinking, okay, well, did she change in the show and I just didn't remember it? So I went back and looked, and I brought up that first picture, I think, is her in the show. All right, so the picture on the left is her, 14 years old, season 1. Picture on the right is her at like 23 years old, season 7 or 8, I guess. And I was like, yeah, I don't really see a whole lot there. Like she looks pretty normal. And so then I was like, okay, well, I got to figure out what they're talking about. So I started to pull up pictures of her year after year after the show. So throw up the next one, Charles. This is her in 2021. It's like, yep, her hair color's different, but she's still.
I already know what she had done.
Huh?
I said I already know what she had done.
You can tell in that picture? You can tell from the first picture. Yeah. All right. So go from 2021 to 2022. So I was like, whoa, it looks like she had buccal fat removal, which we've talked about in the past, which is where you take fat out of the cheeks to get that kind of chiseled, defined look. And in this picture, she's actually...
Is she married to Joe Jonas?
Yes, she was. They got a divorce. She actually is pregnant in this picture, and like pretty pregnant, like not like about to have a baby pregnant.
Her face should be like a little bit plumper.
Yes, right? And I was like, holy crap, it looks like that she had a buccal fat removal. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm kind of sad right now because like that 21 picture, she just, you know, looks amazing. And this, I'm not as big of a fan. Of course, if that's what she wants to do, obviously her choice. And so, you know, she was in this Vogue magazine, and it said that she addresses these rumors. And of course, you know, so I'm having to like read through this like big long thing, which is fine. It was kind of interesting actually, but she didn't actually deny that she had surgery. You know, her explanation was that she admitted she had like this eating disorder. She was bulimic, and she says when you're bulimic, like your face gets really swollen. And then when I quit being bulimic, it went back to normal, and that's why I look like that. And I was like, what? I was like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then she didn't actually, say that she didn't have plastic surgery. She's like, oh yeah, people are saying I have plastic surgery, and I think maybe it's because of this bulimia I had, but then I'm not bulimic. And like, none of it made any sense to me. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I buy that. I mean, throw up that picture of the side-by-side Travis from like literally 1 year to the next.
It looks like she has a nose job.
I didn't even notice that. Maybe.
Her nose at the bottom looks like on the left, it looks a little bit more like bulbous, and then on the right, it looks very slender.
Look
at the
you, Sarah, picking up things I didn't even notice.
But it could be makeup. But
yeah, it could be contouring for sure.
But
I mean, to me, like her cheeks look just, night and day difference from.
She looks like Morticia.
I'm not sure that's the look she may have been going for.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like when people get their buccal fat removal, they look like Morticia.
Yeah, I think that she did have it. I mean, in order for someone to look like that naturally, they would have to be basically malnourished. And she's pregnant, like probably 6 or 7 months pregnant in that picture. And I just don't buy it. Like I do think
I had a plump face whenever I had a plump face when I was pregnant, and my nose got wider from like cartilage getting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So and it went back to normal. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. My face was super.
So I think that she did have it. Of course, I don't know that for sure. I mean, maybe it's something different, but I mean, it certainly looks like that she had it. In that picture on the right, I mean, I would have to assume she weighs more in that picture, 7 months pregnant, than she did in the left picture from 2021.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think she probably did do it, which is fine. I mean, if you want to do buccal fat removal or any other plastic surgery, go for it. But of course, being a superstar actress.
I feel like in this day and age, it's like, why are you lying about it?
Yeah, we've talked about that before. I think if people go and do procedures, and there's somebody that people look up to. I mean, if someone asked you outright, I mean, I think that you should be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well.
I honestly feel like we should just assume that all celebrities have
had plastic surgery. Yeah. I think that that's probably safe.
Like it's just like.
I mean, it's like, I think about.
You look perfect. Oh, it's because you have a lot of money and you spend.
Yeah, I mean, I think about my friend group. I mean, almost all of them have had plastic surgery. At least the females have, and like the males. Like, I mean, I do laser treatments myself. So it's like, it's like everyone's doing it. So like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
To admit that you've had it done. But I guess some people like want to give this perceived thing that's natural, or whatever. And so I was just going to talk for a minute about buccal fat removal because. Were you here?
We talked about it.
We talked about it. Okay, so buccal. So this is the buccal region right here in your cheeks, this area here. And so with buccal fat removal, what they do is they make an incision inside the mouth, and they actually hollow out some of that fat in order to get that really, that look. Which I personally, here.
Yeah.
Well, that's me with buccal fat removal. I personally am not a huge fan of that. I mean, to me, it looks kind of unnatural. I don't do buccal fat removal. I wouldn't do them as a plastic surgeon, not because they're complicated, because they're not. They're actually really, really simple surgeries, and you can make big money doing them. I have two concerns with buccal fat removal. One, I think most people are going to want a bigger effect than a very subtle effect, which is the only thing I think would be good to do. I mean, if someone's going to do this, it should be subtle. Like, that to me is not subtle at all.
It looks like she almost got buccal fat removal and fillers on her cheeks.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe she did get some fillers, and that's making it, more noticeable.
Yeah.
But, I think a lot of people that get buccal fat removal, Chrissy Teigen's the one that, admitted to having it done, and I did not like the way she looked personally. I mean, everything is, different strokes for different folks. But I just think it makes people look, unusual.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever had a good thing to say about buccal fat.
I never have. And then my bigger concern.
Except there with BBLs.
Yeah, I know. At least the buccal fat removal won't kill you.
You can't
die. Yeah, you're not going to die like with BBL. My bigger concern with buccal fat removal is as we age, the tendency is for our cheeks to hollow out.
Yeah.
And so, well, one, I mean, doing buccal fat removal to me makes you look older. But two, if you get it done when you're young, like, what are you going to look like when naturally that fat starts to reabsorb? I mean, you're going to look like Skeletor.
Exactly.
You're going to look like a skeleton.
Morticia.
Yeah, or like way like worse than that. So I think what we're going to see in 10 to 20 years is people like super regretting that they had this done. Or what they're going to have to do is go back and do fat grafting. They're going to have another surgery to correct this thing that they've done to themselves. Which, I mean, yeah, you can do that, but I don't know. I think at the end of the day, buccal fat removal is not going to be.
It's not the way to go.
Yeah, it's not the way to go. So I mean, it's not dangerous. It's just I just don't like the aesthetics of it. and I think there's going to be some long-term problems with it. So.
Like if somebody wants to like get like that effect, would you tell them to get fillers instead of
I mean, you can get that effect by doing, cheek fillers.
Yeah.
Like we use Voluma, and I think Voluma is a great product. Like it's good for people, especially as you get like to more middle age, like 40s. The mid face will start to fall a bit, and so doing just a little bit of filler right here, if you can do it, and it can look totally natural. I have clients that I do it for. I don't do a ton of Botox and filler anymore because I have like a team of people at the med spa that do it. But I have a couple people that like have been with me forever, and so I'm not gonna dump these patients.
But like you would recommend that probably over buccal
I
fat.
would.
They want that like effect.
Yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't recommend someone do buccal fat removal, and I won't do them even though they're not like really complicated surgeries.
Yeah.
I think if you want to do a little bit of filler, like that will accomplish what you want to do.
I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of against buccal fat removal, and I'm not the only one. Like there's a lot of plastic surgeons that are just not fans of this. So anyway, I just wanted to recap this segment really quickly. So today we were talking about Sophie Turner of Game of Thrones and the controversy around her having plastic surgery. And I went and looked at her pictures from 2021 to 2022, and I do think that she had buccal fat removal, which is where you remove fat from the cheeks here to get that chiseled look. And I am not a fan of buccal fat removal. I'm not alone. Many plastic surgeons are not. I have concerns about the fact that it makes people look more aged and sometimes looks unusual if it's not done just perfectly. And then my long-term concerns is, what are you going to look like as you age when the cheeks naturally hollow out? I think you're going to really not like it and have a really natural look. So I personally am against buccal fat removal. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to get it, but I just think it's probably not a good idea. So
yeah.
All right. You guys have got to go watch Game of Thrones. Like, the thing about Game of Thrones, though, is like, the first season's good. Every season it gets better. It really
Except for the last one.
Except for the last one, totally sucked. Well, and what made the last season was like a spectacle as far as like the scenes and stuff. But it's like the character arcs were going one way, and then they just went like this. And so these characters that you had been following for 7 years suddenly did stuff that was like, what are they doing? Why did they do this?
They were out of character.
They were out of character, and it was really made me mad. It was very sour about that last season. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I feel like we know the end now.
Well, it's still worth watching. I mean, yeah, I mean, because
you can binge it.
Because there's so many characters. It's like, dude, that's the great thing about that series is there's so many great characters. Right. But the thing is, with that show, you cannot get attached to anyone. They will kill off a main character.
Is it kind of like The Witcher?
It's better. I like The Witcher. This is way better than The Witcher. If you like The Witcher, you should definitely watch. Do you like The Witcher? Mm-hmm. Oh, you should definitely watch it.
That's because of Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he's easy to look at, right? Yeah. No, Game of Thrones is awesome. Check it out. Just be prepared the last season to be like pulling your hair out. You're like, what WTF? is going on? Okay, let's move on to the next segment.
Yes.
And okay, of all the segments we've had about crazy stuff going down, this literally is like one of the craziest. I mean, the only good thing about this segment is like no one died. Other than that, the whole thing is a dumpster fire. So
is it in our favorite place?
No, but this state is gaining on our favorite place. Yeah. So this is a segment about non-medical doctor naturopaths doing plastic surgery. And I can't even believe that
It's a naturopath.
Naturopaths. Did I spell it right? Yeah, I did spell it right. So yeah, and I want to thank @Suburban Bella on X. This is an emergency medicine doctor that was posting about this, and I saw her thing, and I was like, what in the world? @Suburban Bella, thank you for putting this out there, because I think this is a story people need to know about. So we've done a ton of segments about non-plastic surgeons doing plastic surgery, but it's always been a general surgeon, an internal medicine doc. It's been a medical doctor.
Yeah, an MD, yeah.
It's been an MD. This is a story of a non-medical doctor, naturopath, which we don't hear about naturopaths here.
I feel like that's a opposite character.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect somebody who believes in
to do plastic surgery,
natural things to put like.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, it comes down to money.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
For sure.
So this is a non-medical doctor, naturopath, doing plastic surgery, and even worse, the laws in Arizona, which is where this went down, are protecting them from any repercussions. Like, this story is freaking unbelievable. Okay, so this happened a few years back. This didn't just happen, but it's kind of becoming more known now.
Yeah.
So there was a guy named Bruce Tucker who wanted to go get liposuction done, and he got sucked into one of these, cosmetic centers that is, not run by a,
the naturopath.
Yeah,
cult.
that was run by a naturopath named Jose Ortiz.
Okay.
And so the complaint is that they did this under local anesthesia, which I think is a bad idea to do any significant amount of liposuction under local anesthesia. And the reason they do that is no anesthesiologist would put the patient to sleep for a naturopath. That's just insane. And so he had a bunch of severe pain during the surgery and had a bunch of complications afterwards. Nothing that was like, close to death.
Yeah.
But he had a bunch of complications.
And he's straight up awake.
And he's straight up awake, yeah.
Getting
so
this done.
This story just gets worse. So Mr. Tucker filed complaints, 15 of them, against Jose Ortiz, this naturopath, with the Arizona Naturopathic Physician Medical Board. And the medical board outright dismissed them, saying that Ortiz did not practice outside of his scope, which is insane. So I had to look up, like, what can a naturopath do? And it varies state to state. And I think in Texas, like, naturopaths are not a thing because I never hear about them. Maybe I'm wrong, but only 23 of 50 states will allow naturopaths to practice medicine.
And I guess Arizona's one of them.
Arizona's one of them. Most states will not let naturopaths practice actual medicine. They can make recommendations on, preventative stuff and things, but they won't let them actually practice.
Vitamins, supplements.
Yeah, right, stuff like that. So I had to look up, like, what can a naturopath do? And some states allow them to do minor procedures, like stitch. If, like, you get cut, they're allowed to stitch someone up. Never are they allowed to do surgery. Like, that is absolutely insane. I mean, a non-medical doctor doing surgery, to me, is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, that is straight up.
So this naturopath board, which obviously is a giant joke, said that, oh, yeah, it's fine for this guy to do surgery under local in his office. Those people are clowns, clown show. So he also filed a malpractice suit, right? So he filed complaints against the board, but also filed a civil malpractice suit against this guy. And this is where the story gets even more off the rails.
Nature, whatever his face is, he seems like he has some connections.
Maybe he does.
Protecting him.
Well, get a load of this. So the judge dismissed the lawsuit because the plaintiff couldn't find an appropriate expert witness. So they had a naturopath and they had a plastic surgeon who were willing to testify against this guy, saying that he was practicing outside of his scope. And the judge said that you have to find a naturopath that does plastic surgery for it to be an appropriate expert witness. And the naturopath they have obviously doesn't do plastic surgery because they don't do plastic surgery or surgery. And the plastic surgeon they brought is not a naturopath. So they couldn't meet the qualifications of finding an expert witness that was a naturopath that did plastic surgery.
But I feel like they would have been a plastic surgeon, like any good plastic surgeon in Arizona would have said, this guy should have not been doing that.
Of course, every single one of them would, but the judge was saying because the plastic surgeon's not a naturopath, he can't be an expert witness against one. Is that not the craziest thing you've ever heard? Well, if according to that, this guy could go and do heart surgery and totally kill someone, and there would be no civil suit because they would never find a heart surgeon that's a naturopath.
That's a weird thing.
Right. So the Arizona law is protecting this guy, and all his lawsuits were dismissed, even though this guy is wildly practicing outside of his scope. It's just literally insane. And even the judge was like, well, it sounds like that this is kind of a loophole, but I'm not allowed to, change the law. And so all of these like physician groups, like the American Society of Plastic Surgery and the Arizona Society of Plastic Surgery, are now lobbying the lawmakers. They're like, look, this is a problem because the law is basically saying that you have to find an expert that does the same thing as the person who shouldn't be doing what they're doing anyway for them to.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, so
It's
if
insane.
somebody gets arrested for murder, they have to go out and find another murder to be like, yes, I am a murderer.
Right, yeah.
I did something bad.
It's something silly like that
Right.
where you're trying to find something that doesn't exist in order to hold somebody accountable for doing something that is just wildly, outside of their scope. Also, this same guy. Huh?
Has he done anything else?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Okay. Also, this same guy, Jose Ortiz,
Mr. Ortiz.
also had a complaint against him with the Naturopath board because he allowed an unlicensed medical assistant to perform procedures on patients in his office when he wasn't there with no supervision. Yeah, totally sketch. And then also the Naturopath board did nothing about that. Like, this Naturopath board is just, I don't know who these people are, but they're obviously protecting these naturopaths from doing stuff that they obviously should not be doing. Like, I mean, it's just,
it's a cult.
It's inexcusable, honestly. I mean, you know, people are going to get hurt because these people are allowed to either do the wrong things or do things outside of their scope. And, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we should be protecting patients, because you can't leave it up to the patients to know what's right and what's wrong. I mean, yes, I would like to believe that someone who maybe watches our show would know that if you're going to have surgery, that you should go to someone who's actually trained and qualified to do it.
Yeah.
But the reality is the average person doesn't know.
Nope.
And so even, like, you know, some doctors don't know which boards are real or whatnot, and you can make a website that says literally anything, you know, and make it look like you're totally legit when you really have no idea what you're doing. So, you know, I really think that Arizona lawmakers are, you know, putting the patient, you know, putting patients in harm's way by not, you know, regulating this and having laws around that don't hold people accountable for doing bad things. So, Arizona, you suck. Get your crap in order. What are you trying to do? Like,
he's coming after you.
Yeah, right. Like, come on. This is like Florida stuff, man.
I
mean, this is craziness. I'm happy about this segment.
You want to know what I want to know?
What?
Is that guy from Florida that killed somebody in his office, and then remember that segment, and then like he like put them in.
Oh right, he actually committed murder. Yeah, he killed the lawyer.
Yeah, but it was like they found like blood in like a bathroom, and they found
he killed him in the bathroom.
Like,
yeah, I remember that story. That was an interesting
what happened to him.
Oh well, he was obviously guilty of murder. Like, they had him on video lugging the body out, so I assume that they prosecuted. I'll look it up for you, Sarah. I'll have to remember that guy's name. It'll be easy to find if I just type in Florida plastic surgeon murder. It'll pop up. I mean, of course, unfortunately, it'll probably pop up multiple stories.
I don't know about that.
I'll have to wait.
be a couple of them, probably.
Anyway, all right. That story really got me fired up. I'm glad I'm not doing the third segment, because I feel like it would taint this third segment.
You need to take a road trip to Arizona and boycott the
I'll be like one guy out there with the sign, like, you suck, board.
You definitely got fired up. It went from like super professional to
you suck.
Arizona, you suck.
You suck. All right, Sarah.
Oh, yes.
Bring me down. Tell me about belly fat.
Yes, let's
and
talk
I
about
can actually weigh in. A lot of
fat.
times when you do segments, you're talking about stuff I really is not my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I probably can actually weigh in on this, but obviously take the lead and educate us on
belly fat.
Belly fat.
And the reason I want to talk about this is because it's summertime. It's about to be summertime.
It's about to be summertime.
And so that's like everybody's main concern is always,
right on.
How can I get rid of this?
And I want to say that the little graphic that I pulled up, I don't know if you even saw it because I made you, here. I don't want to steal your thunder. I just want to say one thing before I forget. This picture is really, really good because it shows.
I'm going to talk about it.
You are? Okay, then I'm not going to say it. We'll bring that picture back up in a minute. Travis, throw that back down, and then we'll see it in a minute. All right, go ahead.
You can literally throw it back up if you want.
Oh, okay, throw it back up, Travis, sorry.
So literally the first part is, what is belly fat?
Yeah.
And there's literally a picture right there to show you. So there's a visceral, which is the one that protects your organs.
Yes.
And then there's subcutaneous, and that's just right under the skin.
Correct.
So first off, that's just.
And so, and the one thing I could weigh in on this is there is a pretty distinct difference in the sexes in how people store fat.
Right.
You know, as you know, because we've talked about this, women tend to have more subcutaneous fat, and men tend to have more visceral fat. And in my world, what that means is I have men who come in and want liposuction. I'm like, look, buddy, your outside fat layer is actually fine. This is visceral fat.
Yeah.
And occasionally we get women with that. So.
Yeah, that's why I feel like like my dad, he always had a very plump belly, but literally there was no. He wasn't.
Yes.
There was no chub on it.
Right. Yeah.
It was just like
it's visceral fat because men and kind of going further into that, and this is something we talked about either last week or the week before. One of the genetic reasons that women have more subcutaneous fat is there's actually studies that show that the fat on the belly is more like breast tissue, and so than the fat on the other places because embryologically humans are like all of the mammals, and that there's multiple nipples, and then they resolve. So like the
Oh,
fat.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
We talked about that.
Yeah, we did. So the fat on the belly is more like breast tissue because 10 million years ago, or whatever. Maybe, I mean, no one really knows, but like
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, like there, we had more breasts than we do now.
That makes sense.
Which is really interesting. I actually just learned that the other week when we were talking about extra nipple. Right? Yeah. All right, go ahead, Sarah. I didn't want
Now I can blame my belly fat on, it's because I should have nipples there.
Yeah, exactly right.
I should have multiple nipples, just get over it. Anyways, what causes belly fat?
Yeah.
I think everybody pretty much knows it. Most of the time it's, we're gonna talk about energy in and then energy out. So energy in, high fat foods,
yes,
high sugar, high processed, and most specifically trans fats, because those are extremely processed and those tend to cause the most inflammation.
Yep. And we've talked about the different types of foods and their effects on fat tissue. So you're hitting all the right things here. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And then obviously energy out. Not getting enough exercise completely derails you if you want to.
Yeah. And it's so, and
it
is hard for some people. I mean, I like my whole life have done sports and exercise stuff, and man, even for me, it's hard to like get back into stuff. And the one thing I would add is, and we did a segment on this, is the simple act of getting more steps in can totally get the energy out.
Walking, yeah.
Yeah, walking, getting extra steps. I mean, we did a whole segment on that.
Put you in a little podcast.
We should do a podcast.
We should do a walking podcast.
Oh, that would be kind of, that's different.
Our one podcast spawned a second podcast.
We'd just be breathing. It'd be just us breathing really heavy.
All right.
But yeah, so obviously to make sure that you lose belly fat or you want to control it, you burn fewer calories.
Yes. No, burn more calories.
Yeah, burn more calories than you consume. Yeah.
Correct.
And then obviously if you don't burn those calories, then your body stores it as fat.
You're probably the great person to ask about this. Do you think those little apps where you record your caloric intake and then you write, and also you put in like your exercise, do you think that's helpful for people, or do you know people that use that?
I think it's helpful to make sure that you stay consistent. Like, it's hard for me to do it now because I'll put in the stuff I eat and I'm like, why am I doing this? I already know I already know what I should be doing. But I think it's important for people to do that. Like for example, if you've never had a diet whatsoever, I don't even like calling it a diet, just like actually having
structured kind of.
Yeah, actually just being
aware,
a conscious food intake person. Is like one day just eat what you normally eat in a day, but record that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like it's like looking yourself in the mirror and just being like,
You're like,
wow.
oh man, I ate like crap today.
Yeah, and then realizing what it would take to actually work that off in a day.
Right.
So,
yeah. When you look and you see how much, like how many miles you'd have to run to burn that off, you're like, holy crap, this is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But some other stuff that really affects belly fat are, I'm going to go over some of them, but the first one is alcohol consumption. That causes a lot of inflammation in your body.
Yep.
And this
and
little
it's
article,
empty calories too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
it's
empty calories.
It's just for funsies, but
it's just for funsies.
it causes
it adds
that
up,
inflammation.
Right? Yeah, it's the beer belly, right?
Mm-hmm. And I got this, by the way, I got all this information from a website, I think it's Medical News Today or something like that.
You know what would be a good segment? Would be like the best alcohol to drink to not gain weight.
It's tequila.
Is it? You already know that?
Yeah.
Okay, there was our segment.
It is. It's tequila. I promise. Anyways,
I'm gonna fact check you on that one.
So research has found that alcohol consumption and obesity found that higher alcohol consumption is linked to higher visceral fat levels.
Oh, visceral fat.
So that explains beer belly for a man.
Yeah, right. Okay, that makes sense.
And regardless of a person's body mass index or other markers, researchers found no discernible link between alcohol intake and subcutaneous fat levels.
Really? I did not know that. That's very interesting. Wow.
Yeah. So it's like that. So I guess you get most of the inflammation around your organs, and
maybe
so that
that's
makes
why
it
puts the put the fat there.
Mm-hmm.
That's very
because your body's like, this is poison. What are you putting in my body?
Please stop poisoning yourself.
Yeah. How about you chill out?
All right.
Okay.
I did not know that. That's a very interesting fact.
Yeah,
I'm gonna file that one
I didn't
away.
know that either.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the next one is stress, which I have found personally
Stress makes you eat or gain weight specifically?
Both.
Both.
So cortisol is what your body
Right.
produces when
Yes.
you're stressed out, fight or flight hormone.
Yep.
And people often reach for food or comfort food when they feel stressed. And then cortisol causes those excess calories to remain around the belly and other areas for later use because your body
Dang,
is in
dude,
that.
you're like totally sciencing this up, man.
Because your body's like, I'm stressed out. I need to conserve my energy because something bad's about to happen. I'm about to have to run. I'm about to have to fight. I'm about
So
to
I
have
need
to
to
do
like
something.
store some fat.
Yeah, like stuff's about to go
Interesting.
down. That's like our
Man.
primal response, you
This
know?
is a deep science dive. I love it.
Yeah, but I personally have noticed this effect because I tend to get really anxious or stressed out, and I definitely notice it in my stomach.
Really.
Yeah, and what I've been doing is I've been taking some vitamins. So
Okay.
ashwagandha gummies are supposed to be really good. It sounds like a drug, but it's not.
Is this something you have to buy in the alley or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I've heard of ashwagandha.
It's really good for
Really?
you, and it
Okay.
helps lower your cortisol
I
because
think
it
they-
helps de-stress
It's a
you.
natural
It helps-
cortisol. Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
so you can drink
Dude,
it in a
text me that. I want to
tea.
look that one up.
Yeah, you can
You'll
drink it
have
in
to
a
text me the name of
tea.
I think
all
they
that
sell
kind
it
of
in
stuff.
like
I couldn't
Whole
s-
Foods and
Yeah,
Sprouts.
I couldn't spell the word
I
that you
got
just said for $1 million.
ashwagandha. I don't even.
I don't even know what letter it starts with.
A.
Yeah.
O? Oh.
A-S.
It's ASH. Yeah.
Okay.
Ashwa.
I'm just going to be quiet so I don't look any dumber.
But yeah, I got mine from like CVS. So
CVS. Oh, okay.
yeah, so I definitely recommend taking it.
Do you
can
like
take
it? So you've taken it and you think it helps?
Yes, I do.
Interesting. Okay.
And it
I'm
helps
gonna
you-
Look, I'm going to look that one up.
Yes,
Well, you
do
have to
it.
text me the name.
Okay, and then the next one is obviously genetics
Yeah.
and the environment
Sure.
that you put yourself in. So being raised in an environment where you don't have access to healthy meals, food.
Yeah.
And just-
Unfortunately,
yeah.
genetics weighs so heavily on everything about us. I
Yeah.
mean, there's just, there's no denying that our genetics really kind of predispose us to what we're going to be. And you can fight it and you can overcome it, but it makes it harder.
You might have to
for
do
sure.
it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
It's more difficult for you.
Yeah.
And then the next one is poor sleep. So shorter average sleep durations are linked with increased, what do you think? Which body fat? Belly fat. You think visceral or subcutaneous?
Subcutaneous.
Nope.
Visceral.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Less sleep. Okay.
yeah, so that's research shows.
Interesting.
And I have found that ashwagandha also helps with your sleep because it
Really?
relaxes you.
Okay.
And what I've been doing, because I struggle with going to sleep,
Yeah.
I take ashwagandha gummies, melatonin gummies.
God, your house is just like a gummy factory.
It is, because I like gummies. I'd rather take that than a pill.
Yeah,
okay?
totally. I get it.
And then there's this other thing I do is I bought magnesium lotion. Magnesium lotion is so good to get you to go to sleep.
Really? Is there any data behind that?
Yeah.
There is. I'm gonna have to do a lot of research now.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I take magnesium pills like at
To go to
night
sleep?
and they do put me out. Like they
They
do
like
help
as
me
soon
sleep.
as soon as I put it on my skin, like my eyes start getting tired. You know how like they get like that
Heavy.
dry feeling heavy, like within like 10 or 15 minutes.
See, I notice when I take the magnesium, it's like a deeper, more sound sleep.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm
Yeah.
about to try this.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can find that at like CVS. It's not at some like fancy store. It's on like the aisle where they have like salves.
Okay.
On it.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna look
it's
at-
not in
I've
the
learned
vitamin
like many
section.
things in this segment. I learned
Yeah.
way more in this segment than I did my own. So
Okay. The next one is smoking.
is that's gonna
That's going to
wait? Smoking actually
yeah, so-
makes
yeah.
you eat.
Research shows that despite this general trend of lower body fat, smokers typically have higher levels of
Visceral fat.
yes
I wonder though if
because of
that's.
inflammation probably.
I bet that's probably not related because as we say in medicine and science, like correlation doesn't always equal causation.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, even though you can correlate two things, doesn't mean that one causes the other. Because typically, people that use nicotine products, it's a stimulant, right?
Yeah.
So it's like taking Adipex or phentermine, which it's an appetite suppressant. So I bet that's probably a correlation, not a causation.
Yeah.
I bet, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But the typical thing is when people stop smoking or using nicotine, they gain weight.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But I bet they gain subcutaneously.
Well, yeah, so it may change where you gain fat. That
Yes.
could totally be true. Yeah, I
Yes.
can buy that.
Okay, so we've gone over like all the
Yeah.
ways you can get belly fat.
Yeah.
But then we're gonna just talk about why it's dangerous. Like why, like besides just like you not wanting it because you want to look good in a swimsuit, increased belly fat can increase your risk of heart disease,
Sure, absolutely.
heart attacks,
Yes.
high blood pressure,
Yes.
stroke,
Yep.
type 2 diabetes,
Yep.
asthma,
Hard for your joints.
breast cancer,
Yes.
colon cancer,
Yep.
and dementia.
Yep. I knew all those. Yeah. And there's having that extra fat, whether it be subcutaneous fistula or whatever,
Yeah.
has been linked to almost every bad thing that
It's
can happen
bad.
to you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not good.
So now we're gonna just talk about how to lose that belly fat. So
Preach it.
yeah. So I found 8 things
Okay.
to discuss here. Okay, so the big thing to remember is you cannot spot reduce belly fat. You can't just like
Right.
do a specific exercise.
You can with liposuction.
Yes. That's not an exercise though.
Right, I
Maybe
know.
for you it is.
Yeah, I get exercise.
Yeah.
My arm's getting sore.
Yeah. But you can't spot
Yeah,
it.
no, absolutely
That's the
not.
part that sucks.
Because people think if I have belly fat, I need to do crunches. Well,
No.
it doesn't really work
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So, lifestyle changes can help lower overall weight, which is really just eating correctly.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
Which is hard to do. I mean, it's easier
a
said than done.
6-pack is made in the kitchen, not in the gym.
I've always heard too. Well, not always. I've heard here lately that one way, like the better way, I guess, to lose fat is like weights instead of cardio. I didn't know that was like a thing.
I mean, you can definitely burn a lot of calories lifting weights. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, it's all like, how much energy you're expending.
Sure.
And so,
And it's the
yeah.
type of, I guess, weight training you're doing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you wanted to like thin down, I would do like high reps, low weight.
Yeah, like if you're going to
Yeah.
the gym to get max lifts,
Yeah,
like
that's
if you're
probably
just trying to
not
do
gonna be
like
as
I'm
good.
gonna do my heaviest deadlift and then you're done, you're gassed for like 30
Yeah,
minutes
you're not really
afterwards.
burning a lot of
You're
calories.
not doing nothing for yourself.
That makes sense.
That's true. Yeah, like really lightweight. And when I used to really lift weights, believe it or not, I used to lift a lot of weights. We would alternate between weeks where we would do like, heavy weight, low reps, and then next week might do like super high reps, but like just, bench press like 70 pounds or something, just to, work your muscles in different ways.
Definitely. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And then obviously second is diet.
Yeah.
Balanced, healthy diet and a caloric deficit, fruits and vegetables and
Just don't
complex
eat.
carbs. Definitely focus on protein. If I were to, don't eat, yeah. If I were to recommend anything for if you are like making your first step in trying to eat healthy,
Okay.
is to find out how much protein that you need to eat
Uh-huh.
and
Which
focus on
easy.
that only for a while and get that protein intake.
Yeah.
Because you'll see that the more protein you eat, the less likely you are to
Eat
crave
carbs. And trans, yeah.
or just like not even carbs. Like, I mean, healthy carbs are good, like sweet potatoes, whole grain, that kind of thing. That's good for you. But like, you're not going to crave a cake. You're not going to crave that sweet stuff. That's the processed food, the trans fats.
Yeah.
You're not going to crave it.
That's the one good thing about my diet when I do eat is that I didn't focus on protein.
Yeah.
And try to leave carb. Like I'll get like, I know it's terrible to say get a burger, but like I won't get the fries, right?
Yeah.
I'll just eat a burger.
Balance.
And you can, if you really want to go crazy, you can get like the naked burger or like a lettuce wrap or something.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. You're better than I am.
But then I might get the fries.
Oh, she's getting the fries. Watch out.
And then obviously the next third big thing is alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
So if you really like want
Yeah.
to show up, yeah, don't drink
empty
that
calories.
margarita.
And I would throw in, and you may be, sorry for Mr. Your Thunder, like, empty calories like soda.
Yeah.
I completely gave up calorie soda like 3 or 4 years ago. I only drink the zero drinks now.
Yeah.
Because it's empty calories.
Yep. I barely ever
Yeah.
drink Coke
And
anymore.
I promise you guys, after a lifetime of drinking Dr. Pepper, if you switch to the zero and you stick with it like 6 months or a year,
yeah, and then you
won't-
drink a normal Dr.
Yeah,
Pepper.
you won't want it anymore.
It tastes like you're literally drinking
Like
syrup.
syrup, yeah.
Yeah, it's gross. I mean, I love Dr. Pepper, but because I'm a Texan. Okay, so
People that
next,
are watching this in other countries are like, what's Dr. Pepper?
So number 4 is exercise, obviously.
Yep.
Just maintaining a regular schedule of it.
Yeah.
You can
that's
start
the
out
trick.
small.
Yeah.
But aerobic exercise, which is, the walking and running,
Steps are good.
but also strength training. So don't get down on yourself because you suck at running, because I suck at running, but I'm really good at strength training. So that's what I focus on. And then maybe once a week I'll do some type of more aerobic exercise. So, and then this is a really nice one that I think is really good. Sunlight exposure.
Yes, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Where sunlight is helpful. I can't remember the mechanism now because.
Well, vitamin D
slept
makes you happy. And when you're happy, you don't crave those
Yeah, sun
awful
exposure
foods.
is good. You just got to be careful with the sun because it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Too much sun exposure is bad for you.
Do you also, I've found, not found, but I have been, since I've been researching my cortisol levels, vitamin D lowers cortisol.
That's what it was. That was the link. I was trying to remember
Yeah.
what the link was, and I think that is correct. I'd have
Yep.
to double check it, but yeah.
Yeah. So the more
Sunlight's
you're
good.
outside, the better it is. And usually when you're outside, you're probably
Doing
mostly
something.
sweating or doing something,
Yeah.
having fun. Hopefully, sometimes when I'm outside, I'm drinking a margarita, but it's fine.
Those empty calories in.
Maybe some chips. And then
some tacos.
stress reduction. So if
Right.
you're interested in stress reduction, we talked about mindfulness
Yep.
and meditation and gentle exercise like yoga
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That helps your stress. And I can attest to this too. Whenever I feel really anxious, I will pop on a yoga video. And I've literally tested this because I have a curious brain. I took my blood pressure because I have a cuff at home.
Uh-huh.
And my blood pressure went down after I did
Interesting.
yoga. A pretty good amount too.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so
like
it works. And then obviously sleep, we already talked about it.
Yeah.
But sleep definitely helps that. And
Yes.
then quitting smoking. I think that's just, we already talked about
Smoking's
it.
bad for you 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I
There's
historically.
no healthy link between smoking and
really
living.
anything. Yeah, historically, it is harder to keep weight off when you quit smoking. I mean, that everyone talks about it. Because nicotine is an appetite suppressant, but the bottom line is it's bad for you.
Yeah,
Not good.
no.
I have to tell you, I actually learned a lot in that segment. That was really
Good.
good. I like that one. Good job.
Good.
Air high five.
Yeah, so if you want to lose belly fat, I would suggest you figure out what kind of belly fat you have.
Yes.
And start going down that list I talked about and figure out what you can take out of your life.
Yeah. And people
improve on.
when they do it, when they get a plan like that and they stick to it, there's just such a sense of accomplishment. Because I get people in my office all the time that have lost weight and then they're like, they want to do something surgically because they lost weight and they have their skin or whatever. And that's its own thing. But those people are so just happy with themselves and proud of themselves when they get a plan like that and stick to it. Like it's very rewarding.
Yep.
So great segment, Sarah. All right.
You're welcome.
I think that's about all the time we have today. But please leave us a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about on the next episode of Nip Talk. And we will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.